All right, day 5 is going to be factoring polynomials. Most of these will be trinomials. Trinomial means there's 3 terms. So try like a tricycle with 3 tires, 3 terms. We've seen this before. This is a review. We are going to factor using the star because there are 3 terms. So step 1 says to divide out the negative or any GCF. My A value is not negative and there's no GCFs here. That's going to be tomorrow's lesson. So step 2 is going to be label A, B, and C and fill in the star. So I know that A is 1, B is -2, and C is -15. So we're going to make our star. Remember on the star we do A times C on top, B on bottom, and we put AX to both sides. So if I do 1 times -15, -15 will be on top, -2 is on bottom, and then 1x on the 2 sides. Step 3 is going to be fill in factors to complete the star. So remember, to fill in the factors, we always make a T-chart for the number on top. So I know that 1 times 15 creates 15. 2 doesn't work. If I divide 15 by 2, I get a decimal. 3 times 5 creates 15. And again, if I divide 15 by 4, that doesn't work. I already put 5 on the list, so I don't need to keep going. 1 and 15 cannot add to -2, but 3 and 5, I can use 3 and 5. And again, since the bottom number is negative, I know the bigger number should be negative. So now my star has 1x over 3 and 1x over -5. Step 4 is we're going to reduce the sides of the stars if we can. So I want to see, can I divide anything out of 1 and 3? And I can't. Same with 1 and 5. There's nothing to divide out of 1 and 5. So I take both of these sides to create my 2 factors. So this first side, 1x and 3, is going to create my first factor. So it can be 1x, and then it's a +3, so +3. The other side is 1x and -5, so the 1x goes first, and then I subtract 5. So this is your final answer. We have factored this polynomial into an equivalent expression. All right, for our second example, we're going to factor -2x squared minus 13x minus 15. Again, this is a trinomial, so we are going to use factor using the star. Step number 1 is we need to divide out a negative or any GCF. Again, since my A value right now is -2, we need to get rid of the negative. So to do that, we're going to divide the entire problem by -1. So when I go to rewrite this, the -1 doesn't disappear, it moves to the front. And then inside is going to be everything after I divide it by -1. So -2x squared divided by -1 is +2x squared. -13x divided by -1 is +13x. And -15 divided by -1 is +15. So now step 2 is label A, B, and C. And we're just going to use the coefficients inside the parentheses. So A is 2, B is 13, and C is 15. Once we label A, B, C, we're going to use those numbers to fill in the star. So again, at the top of the star is A times C. So we're going to do 2 times 15, and that's 30. 30, not 13. The bottom is 13, and then the 2 sides are AX. So now we need to make our T chart for the number on top, which is 30. So I'm gonna come up with all the numbers that multiply to 30. So that's 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 doesn't work, and then 5 and 6. Again, since these two numbers are right next to each other, I don't need to keep going. Also, 6 is on my list, so I don't need to keep going. So of these numbers, the only two numbers that could multiply to positive 30 and add to positive 13 are positive 3 and positive 10. So step 4, we're going to reduce the sides if we can. 2 and 3, there's nothing that I can divide out of 2 and 3, so that one won't reduce. 2x over 10, I can take 2 out of both of those. So that's going to become 1x on top and 5 on bottom. So then the very last step is we're going to write our factors. So the factors come from 3 different places. If we divided anything out first, so I'm going to write the negative 1 first. And then the first side of my star, 2x over 3, is going to create 2x plus 3. And then the second side of my star reduced to 1x over 5. So that's going to be 1x plus 5. So again, my final answer, the factored form of that polynomial, is negative 1 times 2x plus 3 times x plus 5.